while we are worried about losing jobs, we should be asking different questions, right? How many people do we know that died of cancer? Within 5 years, gone. You won't have that anymore. How many people do you know that's, dying? My mom has dementia. I have to watch her not even remember who I am. And this is my hero growing up. This is my mentor, my everything, my mom. Love her to death. She lives in Florida. I go every few weeks, right? Dementia, going to be a thing of the past, guarantee. There's so many benefits, all these ailments that would have taken us decades to resolve. We'll resolve them, most of them or many of them within the next few years. Believe very strongly. And I can prove that, right? Because people are like, oh, no, 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 no. I do pay a little bit of attention to the use of this stuff in medicine, but I'm not an expert in it. But I'll tell you something. When I was younger, the big fear for a single guy was what? HIV. You're going to pick the wrong partner and heaven forbid, right? And it took, 20 years, almost 30 years to solve that problem. And we all accepted at the time that it was a virus. That was the words, that the thing at the time. It was a virus, and virus takes a lot of time because it's the nature of virus. You can't solve virus problems in less than 10, 20 years, right? And then we had the biggest virus we've seen in our lifetime called COVID, right? Within 8 months, solved. Nobody asked the question, how was it solved? AI. That was AI that solved COVID. It wasn't human scientists. We're not that smart. Love to think that we are, but we're not that smart because we can run thousands or millions of scenarios within days or weeks that would have taken us decades to do, okay? So we now have these tools that we're able to use, right? If you look at countries that we haven't figured out how to solve water problems, right? We haven't figured out how to solve energy problems. We don't know how to feed our species, right? Because we're running out of things, right? To feed, right? How do we solve these problems? AI. It will, right? This is what you have when you ask the genie the right questions, right? It will give you the answers. So we're looking at the negative sides, but we're not looking at the positive sides, right? With all the bad things comes a lot of good things, right? So we can say, put the genie back in the bottle, and we can watch our loved ones die of these stupid things, right? Or we could say, hey, you know what? This is going to be a big part of that solution that we don't have to worry about it. I've been telling a story for probably 20 years now, and I can find people that will tell you that Rohan's been crazy for 20 years, right? And I've always said that unless I get hit by a truck or get shot in my head or something, I'm gonna live to be at least and 150 can put me away into the madhouse now. That I will see, and I think a lot of people of my generation will live to be way past 100, probably 125, 150, healthy like this, right? And how do I come up with that, right? And this I've been saying way before AI emerged, right? I'll tell you how it will happen, right? So if you think of how technology work and the rate of growth for technology, technology grows pretty much exponentially every decade or so, right? But it's growing faster and faster, and it's growing faster and faster because the technologies we build are helping us to build technologies that go faster, right? So it's not just that we're so smart, we're building better stuff. We're using technology to help us to build better technologies, right? And one of the areas that benefit from that most is the health industry, right? And so that's one of the areas that all the technology go to. We learn how to kill more people with the military, and we learn how to save people's lives with better technology, right? I'm diabetic. I would have been dead years ago. My grandfather died of diabetic when he was younger than I was. In Jamaica, didn't have the kind of health care that needed him to survive it. Me, I am almost 60. I'm 59 years old this year, and I'm super, super healthy. And thank God for the medication that I take every day, and I live in a country that I can afford to do it, right? So I'm already living longer than I would have lived if I were born 20 years earlier, okay? So what's going to happen? It's not like you're going to wake up tomorrow and, hey, we're going to live to be 150 years. Oh, no. What's going to happen is that what will be invented in the next 10 years will give you maybe another 1 or 2 years to your life. And then what will be invented in the next 5 years will give you an extra 2 or 3 years. And what will be invented in the next 5 years. So if you think of it that every few years, the technology is increasing, right? And not only is it increasing, we're applying it into life-saving things, okay? The food, the healthcare, the medicines, all the things that we take for granted every day doesn't just happen because there's a bunch of guys in white robe, right? It happens because of the scientists, right? These are the guys that are the real heroes behind the scenes, right? So these are the guys that are saving our lives, but they're using technology. It's not because they went and just learned all this shit in medical school, right? So if you take that premise, right, that we're continuing to grow technology and we're innovating and we're exponentially growing the pace of technology, then it is logical to believe that what we're inventing, because we spend a lot of time figuring out how to make us live longer, right? We're inventing things that will expand our life incrementally, right? And that incrementally is proven already. I think 100 years ago, I think our average lifespan was like around 50 years or something like that, maybe 100 or 200 years ago. And now I think our average lifespan is like around 75 or 80 years, okay? And we have shit technology. This is garbage technology. We have nothing compared to AI until now, okay?